Hello and happy Thursday, everyone. Just getting my iPad synced up while some of you can get joined in here. Yay, I see. Oh, yay, Deb. Thanks for joining in. It was cute to get your message saying, hey, what time are you going to be here? So that brings up a point. I know like I'm all over the board as far as when I come on, and afternoons do work well, and I still do have one. I shouldn't say still have a college student. I do have a college student that's on his next round of his master's classes, so I kind of wanted him to get done with his schoolwork and kind of be out of the way. It's a quiet afternoon here. Actually, we're hoping and expecting rain, so my son that's usually working is home because of that, and so it's kind of a nice quiet time around here, but I still wanted to make sure that it was a good time to go live and that I wouldn't be interrupting anything in the background. And so Deb sends me this cute note saying, hey, I'm off today, what time are you going to be on? And so honestly, I come up with my samples almost always the day that I'm doing them, and so it kind of depends on how well things go with that. Sometimes things take me longer to put together than other times, and sometimes things come together just the way I want them to, and sometimes not so much. So thanks for joining in, Lisa and Marie and Carol and Sharon and Cindy too. So it looks like I can see that I'm live here on my iPad. And so today I am bringing you card number 2 for Julie's virtual stamp party. Oh my goodness, Carol, 3 inches of rain so far. Bring it this way. I know we're like in the path of you, so even though we're a couple hours away, so I'm hoping it gets here eventually. My garden could just really use that, as well as the farm fields too. So I hope that rain just comes. Okay. So today I'm excited about my card. Last week I did a card for my hostess Carrie, and I used the Ridiculously Awesome, which I almost always refer to the stamp set as Ridiculously Amazing, but it is Ridiculously Awesome. And so sometimes if I'm looking for things on Pinterest to match up with this, I don't get as many good hits for ideas if I type in the wrong name. So hint to myself that I need to put in the right name of the stamp set to get it going. So yeah, so last week I did something really bright with this stamp set. Actually, I have the card here. Yeah, so if you guys remember this one from last week. Oh, and Cindy, you guys are getting lots of rain too. So okay, so Cindy, you're halfway in between Carol and I, so I'm hoping that that rain just keeps coming. Hi, Amy, thanks for joining in. Okay, so last week I did this one, really nice and bright card, and today I'm doing bright but soft, if that can be a term for a card and such. And so this is today's card, same stamp set. I toned it down a little bit, but I still love the color combination. It says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. And I love that. And I see that saying often on different things. And I was really excited to see a stamp set that incorporated that. And so, little side story, the gal that designed this, she is $1 million sales achiever. And so in the catalog, when you see those little tiny things, either on your stamp set or in the catalog, you'll know that somebody achieved $1 million in sales in Stampin' Up's history, which is a really big deal. And so then you get to fly out to Salt Lake City, and then they help you design a stamp set. And so gosh, I can't even think of Douglas. There we go. Why was I not thinking of her last name? Sarah Douglas's husband is quite an artist, and so he helped literally draw this out for Rhonda Wade's $1 Million Achievers. So I thought, well, that's really interesting too, to know that side story and backstory of getting to do the trip, having somebody work with you, but then to have the person who runs the company, her husband, actually do the designing right along with her. I thought that's pretty amazing too. So hi Jen, hi Pam. So it's raining over there too. Wonderful. Okay, so card number 2 for Julie. And let me get started. And I always like to show you guys where to find these things in the catalog. So let me get my camera kind of turned. my tripod. I always want it to be really good and stuck so it doesn't fall, but there we go. Okay. Hi, Julie. We got the hostess actually tuned in too. So I hope you like your card today, Julie. Okay, so here I want to show you the card once again. Right on. So so here it is using the Purple Posy and the Smoky Slate and a little bit of crushed curry. And once again, here is that stamp set. Stamp set is sold separately. There's no dies that go with it, but I, of course, am going to find some dies that do go with it too. Hi, Robin. Haven't seen you for a while. Okay, so that is that. And then in the catalog, the stamp set Ridiculously Awesome is found on page 90. And since I've been doing a lot with the stamp set, this one always comes in and catches my eye, and people have been really ordering the Nothing's Better Than stamp set a lot. And so this keeps catching my eye. But we're going to do this. So this is kind of what happens when I stamp. I don't know if you guys are like that. Something else catches your eye too. Hi, Julie. Thanks for joining in. So what I'm pairing that with today is the Playing with Patterns suite of products too. And so the Playing with Patterns has a fun alphabet and different things. But what I want to show you is the fun pattern paper. You can see it kind of all listed there. And what's kind of neat is usually when I get 6x6 paper, it is 4 sheets of this, 4 sheets of this, 4 sheets of this, and so on. For some reason, when I opened up this packet, it was just like this 4 times. So I thought, oh, how easy to just show you this whole showcase here. And if you know me, I love dots, I love stripes, things like this. And so with that, I just thought, oh, and these fun colors. Oh, hi, Beth. Thank you for that nice compliment. So the colors that are in here are the Purple Posy, Crushed Curry, and Night of Navy. And so those are kind of the highlighted ones when I look at the little label there. And then here's also the back. And Calypso Coral. So you can see some of that Calypso Coral too. So I just love kind of the bright, but not super bright coloring of this. Last week's card was pretty bright, and the paper that I paired up with it was pretty bright too. So I think this will be fun. And I even have kind of like set this one aside in my stamp room because I think this would make great guy cards too. I'm gonna see if I can even get it closer. There you go. Sometimes I get it close, it almost gets fuzzy, but you can see kind of the shading next to the stripes too, instead of just a stripe. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful paper, 6x6. So let me go to how I always start my cards. Like, okay, how did I get started? And I'll be honest, and I always feel like I'm honest with you guys when you say, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? So honestly, I have not used my Purple Posy cardstock very often. So Stampin' Up! Ran into a snag, and this is my first time. I've been a demonstrator 24.5 years. This is the first time that I can remember that Stampin' Up! Had a color that just would not retain its color like Stampin' Up! Wanted to, and Purple Posy did that with its ink pad. So they just decided to scratch the ink pad and said, you know what, we're not going to have a Purple Posy ink pad anymore, but we still have Stampin' Blends in Purple Posy, we still have the cardstock in Purple Posy, and we still have like a marker if you buy the set of 5 Stampin' Right markers too. That works too. Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining in. So I thought, let's do something with this, especially because all of these fun papers, and you know me, I always like pull out, hey, I want to use the papers, and then I get out the wrapping, and then I look on there and go, okay, it is Purple Posy that's being used. So that's kind of how I go with that. On the lineup of colors, they did not list Smoky Slate, but I thought, oh, how pretty is that together for a nice soft look. So I was really excited about how that looked together as well. Hi, Carol. And so I thought, let's put together a super simple card. And one of those cards that not only the card is simple, but the layout. And so a lot of my people go, you know, ribbons are fine for some people, but I just, you know, I don't do ribbon. So just kind of having this layout, you could do a card like this using any kind of card base, any kind of embossing folder, pretty paper, and just changing even this or that. But this is the type of layout of a card that is very easy to copy. So I'm hoping that I bring you inspiration that you can take away from this and go, you know what, I can make all sorts of cards for any type of occasion copying this type of a layout. So I hope that that is what you get from today's card. Hi, Carol. Hi, Sherry. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, first I'm going to take, so my base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 like usual, and then usually, oh, I'm glad I have my trimmer because this is not the right size. Okay, so then I usually do 4 by 5 1/4. So what it looks like is I trimmed 4 inches all the way down. So yep, that's 4. And then I think what I didn't do is cut both of them 5 1/4. So I'm just going to trim that off. So way easier to do now than after I've already put the tape on and trying to get it to fit my card. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is take my embossing machine here, and I have these cute little things. They're not in any kind of suite of products or anything. They're just in the back of the catalog under under the embossing folders. I got sidetracked because I love Carol's comment about King and Kipfer are great at copying, and you guys are, and I love it. And that's what like I said, I hope that everybody feels like they can. I never ever think if somebody copies my things, I never feel like, oh, why did you do that? I feel like it's an honor, and I think it's a great thing, and I hope that a lot of you do that because that's why I'm bringing you these videos. Hi, Shelly. Okay, so we've got the little details embossing folders. Once again, there's 2 of them in here. So as far as card size, to compare them, they're a little bit longer, which is nice, you know, so you don't have to worry about getting them to squeeze onto your card. And they're not quite the same size as a card front. So they're kind of meant to be kind of just a little bit of a design. So there's 2 of them here. One's kind of, there, I guess that does pick up better on the camera than I thought it would. One's kind of lacy, and one has all these fun little designs, which kind of reminds me of the Playing with Patterns paper and that whole suite of products. So I thought, let's get that out today too and see how that works together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I want to just emboss this across the bottom. Actually, I want it to be like this, and I want it to be straight because when there's all those different lines and everything, I thought, okay, this will show if I get this crooked or not. So let's see, and I want all of the designs on there. Okay, I think that's pretty good in there, and you can see the top half's just going to be sticking out of there too. Yeah, Marie, I think they're really, really cute embossing folders. Hi, Barb. I've got 3 sisters watching together at the same time. How fun is that? Okay, so I just run that through, and then you can see here, look at all those fun, I'm going to try and get it really close. Look at all those fun different designs. So all of those are on the one embossing folder. So you have a lot of different patterns, and then the top, because that's all the wider it is, then the top's just left blank. But I thought, oh, that's just so fun and so different. Okay, so then I wanted to take one of these pieces of the 6x6, and so I was playing around, and that sometimes is like, okay, which one? Because they're all so cute. And so with this, I just cut a piece. Okay, so imagine this starting out 6x6. I just chopped this to 4 inches. So that way it's going to be 4 by 2, so I can get 3 cards made out of this little strip, and then I still have a really nice long strip that's 2 inches that can be on the side of a card or make something else completely different. Or instead of it going this way on my card, maybe I can have it be going this way, and then my only waste would be that little tiny chunk. But cutting it that way, there's a good amount of usage that I can get out of that. So yep, this was 4, and then I'm just going to cut it by 2. Oops, that's my score. There's my cutter, and I didn't want to do too much of that ahead of time because I did want to showcase that. Okay, so here's my base. Those are my scraps, and I'm just going to take my Stamp and Seal. Like I said, I still really like the Stamp and Seal. It just really glides on, and I can tell it's a little bit stickier too. Actually, I'm going to pull this back, my trimmer, because I want this to be butted up against the top there. So I can just slide that against the top. And because I've measured that right where the embossing folder ends there, then my pretty paper starts there. So then it goes right to the top, and just butting it up against my trimmer there ensures that it's not hanging out over any of the edges. I can get that lined up so well. So yeah, I just can't say enough about using that little tip, and you probably are already getting tired of me showing you that, but it just works so nice. All right, so I love this pretty posy color. I've always been a fan of purple, usually the darker Vikings, Minnesota Vikings purple color, but this still is great. So I'm just going to put that on. Like I said, there's no smoky slate color within this grouping, but I love how this looks together. And so that's just really cute. So now I'm going to go to my focal point, which is my sentiment, let your faith be bigger than your fear. And I'm just going to ink that up really good with my Memento black ink, like so. And I'll just stamp that out. And so this I could have just hacked and made it a square and such, but you know, why do that when you have some really nice dies? So what I've been using lately are the Tasteful Labels dies. And today I'm going to use just kind of this simple one. It's kind of just like a bowed rectangle square looking one with a nice stitch around the edge. And then from this kind of column in that set is another one that has nice stitching, and it looks like that. And so it can layer really well together. So I'm really liking those. So I'm going to, once again, gather my Big Shot. And actually, I need to switch out the cutting plates. So yeah, if you saw my announcement, we are getting closer to a cutting machine. So the regular standard cutting machine, as a demonstrator, we can order those starting in August, I think August 4th, and then customers can start ordering them in September. So if you want to join my team so you can get one just a month earlier, that works in August. Otherwise, everybody else gets it in September. No word yet on the mini cutting machine, and I know that's probably been the most popular question this whole week. Okay, so I'm just lining those up, and because this is magnetic, they stay in place, and I can do both of those at the same time, so it kind of looks like a race coming through there. And then that just pops right out like so, as well as that one too. So I can set that aside. Okay, and then for this, what I want to do to add some color, and I don't even know if I've ever really done much of this, but with the blends, and you know I love my blends, they have such a light touch to them for the ink that I'm just taking my dark of the two purple posies and the brush tip, and I'm just going to kind of color that over the word faith by just taking lines and doing that. So it doesn't have to be anything perfect. I just want to make sure that it kind of went over on the edges a little bit. I'm actually going to kind of double it up a little bit like so. Okay, and then the other yellow color, so this color is Crushed Curry, and that's what matches the Designer Series paper. There is not a Crushed Curry blend, so then I kind of looked and thought, okay, this is a really good match for that, so it coordinates well, and that's the Light Mango Melody. And here again, I'm using my brush tip, and I'm just going to go over the next two lines under and the one on top. And so just a quick swipe. So even if you don't like to color, you can just do scribble. It almost looks like a highlighter here, the way the light catches it, but it's super cloudy out. That's why I'm hoping it rains. So maybe that has to do with some of the color that it's picking up too. Hi, Donna. Hi, Diane. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so to assemble this, I'm just going to take my adhesive here, my seal, and put that on the back. And by eyeing it, I'm just going to get that centered. I hope that it's not crooked. Okay, I feel like it is. And I can tell that this adhesive is just a tad stickier. Usually I can pick up the other one pretty fast and reposition it. Okay. There, I think that looks pretty decent. And then next I'm just going to take some dimensionals on the back, and I'm just going to kind of stagger those. So I've got about 4 of those on there, like so. And then I'm going to put this on. And a lot of times on my cards, I would be like putting ribbon maybe around that gap where it meets that. But there's really not a gap because I'm putting the paper right on this paper, right at the seam where the embossing folder ends. And so that's really easy. And I love, you can see like the little line. I said it was stitched before, but it's more like of a groove all the way around the edging there. And then this one is stitched. So yes. Oh, Deb, it's raining. So that means that the rain's getting even closer. And Don, I think the rain's going to have to come to me first and then you. So we just have to be a little patient. But it sounds like it's on its way. Great. Okay, so then to make this card look finished, I'm pulling out these resin dots. So this matches, or I should say coordinates with the paper that I'm using, that Playing with Patterns. It's the resin dots. So it's a nice Calypso coral color. And then last week I used some of the yellow color, and then today's purple posy. So if you are ordering through Julie's Party and then you get the cards, that's how that works. You might get a different size of the dots here depending on the card and what's left on, I should say, what's left on my card. I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool here and try and pick up. I lost my adhesive, and that's because I was using my hand to lift off that little resin dot. And usually I can do pretty well with my fingernails, but I'm kind of used to using my Take Your Pick tool to kind of make sure that I go underneath and scoop that up, kind of like taking a pizza out of the oven off of a stone or something. Okay, so kind of helps that this line is here to line up not only this, but the little embellishments too. So hello, Wendy. So I love how these little resin dots really add a lot to it. And I don't know if you can tell by looking, they're really nice and flat, not a lot of bulk. So we always worry about, okay, what's this gonna look like going through the mail and how is that gonna work? So that's really good that it's not too bulky, which brings up another point. And I don't know if I announce this too often in our trimmers. On the arm blade of the trimmer, there's a nice little gap there that our blades slide through. But if you can put your card easily through that, I'm trying to show you as I do it. So if you can put your card through that 1/4-inch slot, you'll know it can go through the mail really well too. So I usually don't have too many problems with the mail. Otherwise, if I think it might be a problem, I just take it right to the window because I want to make sure that it gets to you. And then for the inside piece, I'm just going to take, in the same stamp set, they have kind of a sketched looking bold heart, and I like that. It just really goes with the look of the stamp set really well. So I'm just going to stamp that out in black towards the top. And then there's this little kind of, I call it a starburst, could be the top of a crown or something. So I'm just going to stamp that in black and just kind of outline the heart like so, because a card like this could be used for many different occasions and such that people are going through, and I thought just to have that be for the inside is a really nice touch there. So just going to glide along my adhesive and put that in here centered like so, and voila, it is done. We've got that. And we've got that. And you could go back in and like highlight with the blends too, I guess, some of those things with that, because you can see how just going markering over the top really worked well for that. So you could do more of that if you really wanted to get into that and love coloring. So, right, let me switch things around here a little bit. Okay, so that was, oops, gotta make sure that my tripod there is being good. Okay, so that was card number 2 for Julie Nystrom's virtual stamp party. So yesterday was card number 1. If you want to go back and watch the replay, I know because I do it kind of in an odd time in the afternoon, not everybody can see it. So a lot of people say that they catch the replays. So yesterday was card number 1 for Julie's party. Today's card number 2. Tomorrow afternoon, not sure of the time yet, will be card number 3. And I already kind of have an idea of what I want to do with that. So I hope it turns out the way I want it to and such with that. And then next week, planning ahead, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to do 3 cards for Diane Menon, being a hostess, and I'm going to do her virtual cards on here as well too. Yeah, thanks, Deb. It is a really cute and simple. Like I said, the thing I wanted to stress most about the card was how you could copy it and change up all sorts of different patterns and color combinations, stamps, anything to redo the card in a simple, easy way. So to get the cards that I'm making for Julie's party, after I'm done here, I will post this card, and then there's always a little paragraph saying like who the hostess is, what her code is. If you have a minimum $25 card, then you get the a minimum $25 order, then you get the 3 cards that I have made as part of her virtual crafting experience, and then you'll get those as a thank you from us for ordering through her party. So as always, let me know if you guys have questions. Home a lot more because of this whole COVID thing, and a lot of my morning is spent answering questions, emails, phone calls, texts from you guys. So keep them coming because this is my work day. So I enjoy hearing from you. You have to believe I really enjoy hearing from you at a time like this when I'm not seeing you like I usually do too. So and Julie, I'm glad that you liked the card today too. I like your comment because this is your party, and so I'm glad I made something that you like. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Until then, have a great rest of your day.